Okay, so this video is for this intro to Inventor drawings. So I have a slightly different version of Inventor on my computer than you do, but the steps that I go through should be relatively similar. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new part. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on the new part in Inventor. Give this a second to open up. My computer's running slowly because I am recording at the same time as doing this, and Inventor kind of takes a lot of horsepower here. If you get a weird error like that, you can just click OK. You probably won't get that error though. All right, now that I have my Inventor window open, I'm going to click on Start a 2D Sketch. I'm going to click over here one time on the XY plane, and I'm going to create a pretty basic shape here. I'm going to start with a rectangle, start at the origin right down here, 0, 0, kind of click. We're just going to make a 1 by tab 1, hit Enter, box right here, and then hit Finish Sketch. And we're going to extrude this out 1 inch as well. So I hit extrude, make sure that that's selected, 1 inch right there. I know that your extrude looks a little bit different than this. I think it drops down from the menu or whatever, but just make sure the extruding is 1 inch and it's going out in that direction, and click OK. So this will give me a 1 by 1 by 1 cube. We're not quite done yet. I'm going to go ahead and start another 2D sketch on this side right here. So I'll click right there to start a 2D sketch, and we're going to create a rectangle. We'll start at the origin right there. In this rectangle, or it's going to be a square. We're going to make it 0.5 inches by hit tab, 0.5 inches, and then hit Enter, hit Finish Sketch, and then we're going to extrude that out by 0.5 inches. And I click OK. Not quite done yet. So now that I have this shape, I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this side right over here. Click right there. And I am going to draw a circle kind of at the top here. Okay. And I'm going to make this circle. I want the radius to be 1 inch right there. So that's perfect. Okay, then I right click and click OK. I'm going to click on dimension, and I want to click on the radius of this circle right there, the distance between that and that. I want this to be exactly 1 inch, and it should be. It gave me an error right there because it's already locked in. There we go. If I click on that, click on that. Click on dimension. Just highlight that one thing on top, highlight that. It's 1 inch and it's already locked in. It says adding this dimension, so we can just go ahead and hit accept and it's good. 1 inch, perfect. All right, I'm gonna hit Finish Sketch. I'm gonna click Extrude again, but I'm gonna extrude this one that way, and I'm gonna cut this 1 inch basically all the way through. So I'll click OK. And now this is my object that I've created. So it looks like this on this side, kind of looks like that on this side, looks like this on the top. So this is my kind of cool looking object that I have right here. So first thing that you're going to need to do is, once you've created this object, you need to take a screenshot of this and paste it into that Google Doc, and you're going to have to use Screenshot to do that. Now that I have this done, I'm going to go File, Save. And we're going to just save this as, I don't know, good part 1. Okay. You should know where you're saving it. So I'm going to save mine in my documents folder, but it's just really important that you know where you're saving it. So I'm saving mine in my documents folder, good parts 1, click save. And it might give you an error about this isn't an active project or whatever. Just click yes to continue. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to go File, New, and we're going to go New Drawing right here. Okay, and this is going to create a drawing file for us. So there's a couple things that we need to do before we get started. First thing that I want to do is I need to take this sheet, right-click on the sheet, go to Edit Sheet, and the size of this, I need to change the size of this to A, which I believe is 8.5 by 11 inches. So we'll just do size A, okay, and it should say 8.5, 11 inches right there, and then I click OK. And then the next thing that I'm going to need to do is this right here, this ANSI. We're not going to be using that in this class, so we right-click on that, and we hit delete. Okay, so now this is our standard sheet right here. Now that we have this, I'm going to click on Base, and it's going to bring up a drawing view. And because I was just working on that part right there, the part already pops up right here. So that's good. I kind of know what this part's going to be. But if like the part that I was previously working on didn't pop up, you just go to the Open Existing File. We need to figure out where we saved our part that we just created. I know I saved mine in my Documents folder. You can always sort by date modified right there. That should show you like when we have, and notice we have that good part right up there, and we hit Open. And then we click OK. And are we sure? Yes. Okay. So we're going to put this part kind of right down here in the corner. So I'm just going to drag it over here right around A2. Now this is going to be kind of small. So I'm going to increase my scale to 2:1 right there. That actually looks good. And I'll go ahead and put that right there. Okay, now without clicking on OK or anything, I just hover up and notice I kind of get this green area around where it says 2B, and I just kind of click one time, and that's automatically going to do my top view. And then I'll come over here, and I just click once, and that'll do my side view. And then I click right over here, and that gives me my isometric view. And then I click OK. And then there we go. So now, like the multi-view drawing with my isometric view, top view, front view, side view has already been drawn for me. So a lot of times this isometric view, I want this to be shaded. So what I want to do is have this in red right here. And I'm going to go to Edit View. So I right-clicked on the red area. Here, let me do that again. You just kind of find this red area around the isometric view, right-click on it, go to Edit View. And this one, I want it to be, notice right here, shaded. So I click on that shaded button, and then click OK. Whoops, didn't shade for me. Right-click, Edit View, click on Shaded. Let's click on that raster. There we go. We need to make sure that we change the view right there. We're just doing the isometric view. This one I want to be shaded. So I found in here that isometric view. Now I click on the shaded button right there, and I'm good. So make sure that that's, and then I click OK. Whoops. Let me do that one more time. Isometric, click on that, click OK. There we go. So now mine's shaded. Okay, so last thing that we're going to need to do in here is some basic dimensioning. Okay, so I'm going to come up here to annotate, and I click on dimension. We're going to get a lot more into dimensioning later, but I'm just going to kind of click up here, click down here, and then I can drag over to show this is 1 inch right there. And then I can click right here and click right there to show that this is 0.5 inches right there. And then finally I can click right there to note that that's 0.5 inches. So we can see how big that box is, see how big this box is. I think I need to dimension the size of that right there. Okay, so that's good. Looks like on here, I'll probably need to dimension maybe the the radius of the circle. So if you just kind of click on the circle right there, it'll automatically kind of pop up with the radius. And then I'm going to dimension some of these things over here. So I'll just kind of come over. That's 0.5 inches. The distance between there and there, that's 1.5 inches. So that looks pretty good. So you can, based upon this, we know that this is 1 inch because it's 0.5 inches minus 5 inches would be that. So this is a great drawing file. It kind of shows us everything that we have. Maybe you'd want to know like where the distance is between the radius and the bottom. So it's 1 inch. Maybe something like that, but you can add dimensions on here so to basically show like how big this is. So now that you have this done, you want to take a screenshot of this and then paste this into the Google Doc for the drawing. So we've now created a drawing file of the object that we just previously created. All right, we're going to do one more object, and then we're going to do one more drawing. And this time I'm going to go a little bit quicker. So I'm going to go File, New. This is going to be a new part file, so I just click on Part, and then I hit Create, and then I click OK. If you get a weird error, that's okay. Now that I'm here, I'm going to hit Start 2D Sketch. I'm going to click on this XY plane, and let's go ahead and we're going to start this with a line right here. I'm going to click right here, kind of just draw along this bottom axis right here at 0 degrees for 1 inch. Click Enter. Okay, now I'm going to have this come straight up 90 degrees at 0.25 inches. Hit Enter. Then I'm going to have this come over, back over at 90 degrees, 0.25. Hit Enter. Have this come straight back up 90 degrees at 0.25. Hit Enter. Back over. We're doing some stair stepping here. 0.25. Hit Enter. Have this come back up here. 0.25. Hit Enter. Have this come over. 0.25. Hit Enter. Kind of scroll up. We're almost there. 90 degrees, 0.25, hit Enter. Have this come back over to the origin of the XY, 0.25, hit Enter. Whoops. Yep, 0.25, click, and then we want this to come all the way back down here, back down to the bottom. Make sure that that's green. Click. Then I right-click and click OK. Now I'm going to click on Finish Sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and extrude this out 0.25 inches. All right, so now that I have that, we're going to go ahead and start another 2D sketch on this plane right here. And then let's go ahead and just draw a rectangle on this. So I'm going to start again at the origin right there, 0, 0. And this is going to be 0.5 by 0.5. Hit Enter. Hit Finish Sketch. Let's go ahead and extrude that out. Okay, 0.25 inches. Click OK. And then I'm going to spin around to this back side right here. Let's start a 2D sketch on this side. Okay, and I'm going to create a rectangle back here, right there. And this is going to be 0.5 inches by tab 0.5 inches too. Whoops. 0.5, and then hit Tab, 0.5, click Enter, hit Finish Sketch. This time, though, when I extrude, I'm going to have it extrude in 0.25 inches. So click OK. So here's my shape right here. It's kind of an interesting shape. I got like these stairs coming up, and then this little box right here, it looks like it kind of got pulled off a little bit. So I don't know, kind of a little unique shape. Okay, once you have this shape created, maybe you want to take a screenshot of it like there, or however you want to take a screenshot, but you're going to have to take a screenshot of this and put it into the Google Doc. We're almost done. We need to save this. So I'm going to save this in my Documents folder right here, and I'm going to call this Good Part 2 and hit Save, and it's probably going to give me an error here. I just click Yes. And now I'm going to go to File, New, Drawing. Okay, I want to delete this ANSI, so I right click on that, I click delete. On sheet 1, I right click on this, and I go to edit sheet, and I change the size to A, make sure that this says 8.5, make sure that that says 11, click OK. Now I click on base, and I make sure that good part 2, the part that I just shaved, is right there. If it's not, I click on this little guy, find the folder that I saved it in. I saved it in Documents. Click on Date Modified right there, find that good part 2, and click Open. That's okay. Click OK, and click Yes. All right, I'm going to drag this right here down to A2. The scale of this guy, I'm going to increase to that 2 to 1. That looks good. So I'm going to position that in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to kind of hover up, click up here, hover over, click right there, kind of hover kind of in the top right view, and click one more time, and then click OK. All right, so now this is our drawing of the object that I just created. This is our multi-view drawing, you can see, and then we have obviously our isometric view right here. The isometric view, I do want that shaded, so I'm going to right click on once I have kind of the outline of it, and I'm going to go to Edit View, and I need to make sure this isometric view right there is shaded, and I click OK. All right, and then the last thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to dimension this object. So in order to dimension it, I come over here to Annotate, and I click on Dimension, and we can just kind of like, what's the distance between here and here, and I can drag that out, and that's 1 inch. What's the distance between here and here? Well, that's 0.75 inches. The distance between here and here, that's 0.5 inches. The distance between there and there is 0.25 inches. Doing this dimensioning is actually a skill upon itself, which we're going to be covering in the next unit, but kind of learning how to do this and what this looks like is a good skill to have. So we're going to start with 1, and then we'll kind of look at what's the dimensions between those two. That's 0.75. What's the dimensions between those? That's 0.5. And what are these dimensions right there? All right. Might be asking, what's the dimensions of this box right here? So let's figure that out. And the dimensions between that, that's already kind of up there. So let's say I didn't want this dimension right there. I can just click cancel. I can select that, hit the delete key on the keyboard, and it'll go ahead and get rid of it. Again, the delete key, not the backspace key. Those are two different keys. You want to find the key that says delete. All right, a few more things to dimension here. Maybe like the, looks like I have the overall height here, but I might not have the distance between there and the distance between there and there. Let's get that. And then I don't know that I have the overall, I think I have the overall width of this object, but I don't know that I have the distance between there and there, or the distance between there and there. Okay, so that's properly dimensioned right there. Every single angle and part of this you can figure out from these dimensions. Once you've dimensioned yours, then you're going to, just like I did, you'd want to take a screenshot of this and paste it into the Google Doc. And that is it for this part. Hopefully this makes sense to you, and it's a really easy way to be able to create a multi-view drawing of an object that you created. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, problems, or issues.